It's time to get real with Eddie, here to help you understand the changing real estate market and meet your real estate goals. Over 19 years in the business. 2018 Realtor of the Year of Three Rivers. Past president of the Three Rivers Association of Realtors. Director at the Illinois Association of Realtors and team lead of the Ruettiger Group at Baird and Warner. Here's Eddie Ruettiger.
It is Tuesday at noon, and we are here live in studio. And none other than Nancy Valley from the Ruettiger Group is here with me. And we have news all over sideways. I'm back from Washington, D.C. We were out there doing some meetings for the National Association. And Nancy has, I think you got the biggest news.
I do have big news.
Why am I not hearing you? Wait, hold on a second. Try that again.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
All right, go ahead, try it now.
Okay.
Now I got you.
All right.
There we go.
All right.
So.
I have big news.
You have you have 7-pound news.
I have 7-pound news.
Yes. So, all right. So go ahead and make the announcement. What's going on?
Well, my daughter had her first baby on Thursday. Anaya Rain was brought into this world. It's 6:50 in the morning, weighing 7 pounds, 1 ounce, 19 inches long, and totally perfect. She's adorable.
Yay! She is adorable. I saw the pictures, and she just looks cute as a button.
She is. She's just the laid-back kid. I hope it stays that way for my daughter's sake.
I forgot how small babies are.
They really are.
Because, like, this morning, what's my child doing? He was climbing, and he fell good.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he fell. Got a good rug burn on his back and
Ouch.
Bounced once or twice, and he was hurting. He sat down on the couch, which is unheard of for him.
Oh, he got hurt then.
Yeah,
It's moving.
He was sitting. Mom had to go, so he was sitting next to Dad, laying on Dad's arm. So yeah, you know he got hurt pretty good.
He took it hard, a hard one.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. DC was fun.
Yeah. So give us some takeaways.
Nothing major. I did learn there was a change, and this was actually done quietly in my view. Some other people that I know was aware of this. Freddie and Fannie are allowing third-party individuals to go in and do pictures on appraisals.
Really?
So
that's interesting.
That means the appraiser themselves is not necessarily putting their feet in the property.
Okay.
So I think that's
now, was that part of the whole code? Because they were doing drive-bys a lot more and relying on other listings a lot more during COVID. Do you think that is something
I don't have all the details on that.
Came out of COVID? Because of COVID, we've changed rules?
I don't know. I don't have all the details on that aspect of it. What I just know is that this is something that is norm. Now, the drive-bys are also still normal, too. They can just do a drive-by.
Yeah.
Now, the nice thing is when they do a drive-by, they're like, oh, yeah, well, we know it's going to hit value. We're fine, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no problems with the drive-bys. I don't know if this is something that, we know it's going to hit value, and we don't need the appraiser in it, or this is something to make it easier for the appraisers. I'm not 100% sure on all that. So
because it's third-party pictures, I'm thinking maybe it frees up the appraiser.
Because that would free up the appraiser a lot more. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no doubt about that. So what else did I learn?
You saw Lawrence Yoon, right?
Lawrence Yoon. Oh yes. Lawrence was on stage speaking about a lot of the market and where this is going and everything along those lines. And he's basically saying that this is supply and demand.
Mm-hmm. Not a bubble.
Not a bubble. Talked about the inflation. Said oil prices are a huge part of this inflation.
Mm-hmm. Which totally makes sense.
Yeah. If we could get the price of oil down, you're going to get a lot of cost of other things down. talked about just that this is 100% supply and demand in the market, that we do not have the supply to support the demand that we have.
Mm-hmm.
And then he used a word, and I forgot what it was, but the rampant upset of pricing, this is why some people think the market's going to collapse. He said, just because prices shot up so quickly in the last year and a half, no, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to collapse, because the market conditions are completely different than it was in 05, 06, 07 when we saw that ramp up before.
Mm-hmm.
This is a true supply and demand. So supported a lot of the stuff that we've talked about on the show.
Good.
So that was thing. I didn't get to do much sightseeing.
No. DC is so interesting.
Well, we weren't technically in DC because we couldn't go and meet with the legislators.
Yeah.
And discuss what's going on, where we need help, things along those lines. Inventory was a big concern that came up a lot. And, things along those lines to help inventory.
Mm-hmm.
We were actually in Virginia, right at the edge of DC, I believe, at the Gaylord.
Okay.
So there was a really nice series of little restaurants and stuff right over there. Found a great candy shop with amazing fudge. May have bought a half a pound and came back for another half a pound.
There you go. May have.
Yes, and went to there's a Ferris wheel over there. So I went on the Ferris wheel and called my son from FaceTime.
Oh, that's fun.
So he got a big kick of seeing Dad on a Ferris wheel, which I am not a Ferris wheel person. I do not enjoy them.
No?
Not really.
Well, you like rides, right?
I like the rides, but I like going forward.
Oh, you don't like kind of that up and backwards thing going?
It's not even up and backwards. It's just sitting there, really, because they don't move that quick. And I don't like to drop straight down.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, Tower of Terror at Disney World,
you.
not on my list. Been there, done that, not doing it again.
Gotcha.
Yeah, not.
Neither is your son.
Probably not, because he did it the last time, as that many may know. He's probably not going back to the Tower of Terror either. All right, let's talk some real estate. Your house could be closer to list ready than you think. And I think that's the case. I think a lot of people think their house is not ready. It's not ready to sell. It's not ready to sell. I got a client on Caton Farm Road that, I'm not ready to sell. I'm not ready. Your house is spotless. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So.
And I have a client who's doing some odds and ends because he had started projects and he's finishing them. But I told him don't do much else. I mean, finish what you started, but
yeah,
just be done.
Yeah,
it's okay.
If your house looks like a model, it's ready to go on the market. It's that simple.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to have everything perfect. And the fact of the matter is no matter how much you do, there's going to be something an inspector is going to find.
Yeah.
They're going to find something.
Or there's going to be something a buyer
Yep.
wants changed. But that's the point. They go in, they buy it, they change it.
They change it. Yeah. So that's why I don't worry about painting in colors too much.
Yeah.
Unless they're really dark colors that are hard to paint over.
Yeah. Or they really make the room super, super small.
Yeah, because the dark colors close that space in. Absolutely. All right. One of the biggest concerns for a homeowner looking to sell is the time they have to put in before listing their house. And that, if that's the case for you, you should know your home might be closer to list ready than you think in today's market. Okay. A survey of recent sellers from Realtor.com finds that many were able to get their house ready in less than a month. It says, with many homeowners expecting a quick sale and in many cases a lack of contingencies, the preparation process took less than a month for over 50% of home sellers this past year, with 20% completing it in less than 2 weeks. So, yeah, you can really have your house up and ready to go whenever you're ready, let's be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, it's when are you ready? When do you want to move?
Oh, yeah.
So that's kind of the concept and the aspect that they're trying to show in this article here. Small projects top the list. Updates of recent sellers. 94% landscaping, mulch, planting flowers. 88% minor cosmetic updates, replacing light fixtures, faucets, etc. 87 touch-up painting. I don't know how you do touch-up painting.
Well, if you have a little scratch or something here and there.
Here's the problem, I always think. And maybe because I don't really do that very often. Once you do the touch-up and you paint over it, that usually area you can tell has been painted because the rest of the paint's been faded around it.
Well, it depends on how old that paint job is.
Okay, maybe that's true. Maybe
if
it's
a 10-year-old paint job, there's no touch-up.
Okay. Yeah, so you've got to repaint the room.
Yeah, you've got to repaint the room.
Yeah, see. I just always go back in and paint the rooms. I don't really do touch-up.
Yeah. Well,
so
like, we had one of the kids bash into the corner of the doorway and took a chip off, and we fixed it, and touched it up, and you'd never know it. Yeah. You'd never see it.
We want to repaint the whole house.
But I want to repaint.
Yeah.
I got projects.
Oh, so. We got projects. Huge projects. And the problem is I can't find anybody to do projects.
Oh, I got a guy.
You got a guy?
I got a guy.
Okay.
He does all kinds of projects. He did my bathroom.
Your bathroom guy?
Yeah,
oh, that's right. That's right.
He does all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
I got a guy.
Because we want the shed done, we want electricity redone. There's some wiring and outlets we want changed. There were some GFI outlets that weren't there that we want put in.
Oh, I got an electrician for you.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I love him.
We need to I want to build a web page for the team and put all of our contacts on the page.
Oh yeah.
So that way they can reference and stuff and go back and forth, and I think that would be huge. I really do. So, a real estate advisor will help streamline the process and keep you focused. This is true. I sat down and went through a house 2 weeks ago, and the only thing that needed to be done in this house was trim. Just trim.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's it.
Nice.
So, and they're all worried about this. That there was a couple of rooms needed to get decluttered. One in particular.
Yeah.
That one room that's the mud room, that's the garbage room. That
it's my house.
Everything goes to that
Terrible.
room. Yeah. That just throw it in there. Just throw it in there. Yeah.
It's where you plunk everything down when you come in the door.
I don't have that room. See, because we come right into the kitchen, so everything just ends up in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I mean, I really don't. I'm not a fan of our layout of our house for the way we live. It is very, very difficult to keep the house clean.
Yeah, because everything ends up getting plopped, like you said, in the kitchen.
Well, and then I got little Tornado running around.
Yeah, that's true.
He's getting better though.
He's getting older.
He's getting older, so he came home with some prizes from school for some reason today. I was excited because he got a game. It was the Mickey Mouse version of Hi Ho Cherry-O. You ever play Hi Ho Cherry-O? Oh, you never played Hi Ho Cherry-O? It's like all these little cherries on a tree, and you have to get them in your bucket, and you spin the little dial, and it tells you how many you take turns, and how many you spin is how many you get to take off. And I think if I remember, 1 or a 6, you get to spin again.
Oh wow! Okay.
Or maybe it was just 6. I don't remember.
That sounds like a Lola kind of game.
It's a great little game for counting for kids.
That's not neat.
Yeah.
Lola would be perfect.
Yeah. So, and Eddie doesn't play any kind of games like that yet. Not yet. We're getting there.
He's right at that edge where he's going to start playing games.
Oh, I cannot wait.
Love being in that.
I know.
Hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when he wants to play Monopoly with Dad.
Yeah, except my middle one used to beat me all the time.
What?
Lexi? Yeah, he was Mr. Monopoly King. Oh yeah.
I would beat my sisters to the point that they go around to this day saying I cheat. And I've never had to cheat at Monopoly. I never cheated at Monopoly. But they always thought the game was about gaining property and just buying as much, and it's you have to negotiate and you have to get
The right property.
All the colors, yes, and the right properties.
Yeah.
You have-
Location.
Absolutely. So, it's kind of funny. Did you ever read the history on that game?
Yes.
That
Actually, a woman invented that game originally.
Yeah, and it was supposed to be, the intent was to downturn the problems of capitalism. Like she was very anti-capitalism.
Well, she was, that was back in the day when all the giants were kind of controlling everything.
Well, that's true, because if you go back into the late 1800s, early 1900s, home ownership was not something.
No, it was the power was all held by capitalists.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but getting more people involved into it. See, I don't see that as capitalism. I see that as crony capitalism.
Yes.
When you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's
when
really what it was.
When there's a system and it's rigged for somebody.
That's crony capitalism. That's exactly what was going on, and that's what she was.
So back on your house may be ready. Next advisor explains real estate can be hyper-local and demand can be vary from one neighborhood to the next. It's a good idea to work with a local real estate professional to determine an ideal listing price and if any improvements or repairs are needed to complete before putting the house on the market, which makes complete sense.
Oh, yeah.
Because there are some areas, okay, guess what? It needs a new roof. All right, well, you got to get a new roof. I think that's a bad example. Hot water heater might be a little bit better.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, I need a hot water heater. No, you don't. Just put it on the market. You'll be fine. And it'll sell, and they're going to buy it.
Well, it's a little... In fact, I have a client getting ready to list now, and he wants to replace the water heater. Why?
There's nothing wrong with it.
Is there anything wrong with it? No. Have you had problems with it? No. It's not leaking. It's not anything. Then don't replace it. It's fine. It's fine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at some numbers for Romeoville.
All right, let's check it out. What's going on in Romeoville?
Why have I got only
Two
March?
Marches.
I know, we got 2 Marches. Dun, 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 dun. Let me do some magic here.
So while you're waving your wand over here.
Yes.
So, in general, in our area, because they were talking about being more area specific, do you see any changes in the market that really are standing out to you in the last 30 days?
Not really. We've seen some uptick on market time, but I think that could be a misleading number because I think you're seeing a lot of the properties go under that, well, it's not the greatest house, but I just want to get something under contract. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
because inventory's so low, people are now starting to pick up the less than ideal properties.
Yes. And I do think we're going to see a break in some of this later on when it comes to the inventory number.
I'm thinking now that the weather's starting to break, that, we're not in February, March weather anymore and all the rain and everything. I think people are going to start feeling like it's spring market now and feel a little more motivated. Not that there's going to be a tsunami of listings, but I think things will begin to loosen up.
We're both sitting here in May and I'm realizing, what? April numbers aren't out yet. That's why we got March numbers. We still don't have April numbers. Usually it comes out after sometime after the 15th.
Oh, that's true.
So that's where we're at.
A little early.
Yeah,
okay.
we're expecting these numbers early because we're anticipating this. All right, so looking at Romeoville for March, median sales price $298,000, up 24.2%. Average sales price for Romeoville $288,891. Percentage of list price received 100.8. Trailing 12 months, that's 101.9. Average market time, 46 days, and that's dead even for last year. It was 46 days last year. And I don't think the ramp up started really last year until April. So it'll be interesting to see how those days turn.
Yeah.
Now, inventory is down from last year. Last year we had 20 listings on single family in Romeoville. Right now we're at 18 finishing March. 215 on attached for the median sales price, up 8.6. 223,346 on the average. That's up 13.9%. The percentage of list price received is 98.2%. That's down 1.5. So it looks like attached housing, I wouldn't say that there was a big move in the number. What I'm going to say is because you only had 13 units close, the sample size is so small that one of those units just probably was a lower priced property.
Yeah.
It sold maybe for above list price. So you got to watch these numbers again, because it could be very misleading if you're not paying attention to the whole data points.
Well, and look at the next line of average market time. And that goes to your point, where one property may be distressed, which is going to throw off.
It was 68 days is the average market time, pushing it up 209%. Yeah, if you just look at that as a cherry picked number, you're thinking, oh my goodness, the numbers. And the fact is no, I still think you've got a solid market here, because when you look at the 12 months out, because you need a bigger sample size, you're still down 47.4% in market time. Your average market time on the trailing 12 is 20 days.
Yeah, and prices are still up.
Yep.
Our average sale price is still up 14%.
You need that. You need to look at the trailing 12, I think, right now. A lot more watching that. And that's huge. And the trailing 12 is down 20 days on market time, where last year was at 38. So that's it. 7 units left in inventory on attached. So what's that put you at? 25 units total in all of Romeoville at the end of March.
Pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, that's some pretty amazing numbers and amazing facts. All right, let's take a break. When we get back from the break, will the home prices fall this year? Let's see what the experts say. So keep it here with Get Real with Eddie.
Doing everything for you except the moving, and be glad. It's Get Real with Eddie.
Welcome back to Get Real with Eddie. Hey, if you got questions on buying or selling, give me a call at 815-823-5478. That's 815-823-5478. You could also check me out online at yourdwellings.com. That's yourdwellings.com. All right, Nancy, let's talk about will the home prices fall and what the experts are saying. So the question for you is, because you're an expert,
yes,
are the home prices going to fall this year?
I say no. I agree with the experts, with the other experts, and I'm going to say no.
I have to agree. All right, CoreLogic says price appreciation averaged 15% for the full year of 2021. Sounds about right. We saw 15 to 17%, I think, was our going average when we went through all the numbers that one day. Up from 2020 full year average of 6%. And I think we did better here than 6% in 2020. Yeah.
Definitely. 2020 we did double digit.
So why are prices climbing so much? It's because there are more buyers than there are homes for sale. Duh.
Supply and demand.
Duh. So where do the experts think they're going? So the appreciation graph, which we'll read the numbers for you. Home price forecasts for 2022. The average of all 7 of these forecasts is 9%. All right, so we're going to break them out for you, but 9% is the average, and I think where 9% is going to be where we end up. I'm between 7 and 10, but I think 9% is right on the money.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm a little more conservative with that. I feel like interest rates are gonna play into that a little bit.
You think we're not going to go up 9% this year?
I think it's more 7 or 8. I don't know that we'll go 9.
Okay, we'll see.
I definitely don't think we'll go double digit.
I hope we don't go double digit because, there's got to be a threshold. You can only keep that double digit, appreciation for so long.
Affordability is going to
come into play here, and you're seeing it.
Time here.
So Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. All right, so let's do Fannie Mae first. Fannie Mae is predicting 10.8% home price appreciation. Freddie Mac, 10.4%. CoreLogic is 9.6%. Heaps is in at 9%. The National Association of Realtors is at 8.4%, so that's the first one under the average of all the other ones. All right. Zelman is in at 8.3%, and MBA is coming in as the low ball at 6.2%.
And I think that's a low. So
I
I'm
think
thinking 7-8%.
You're thinking 7-8%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we're seeing, looking back at Romeoville's numbers, they're showing a median sales price for month over month up 24.2, and the trailing 12 is 14.9. I think that ship has sailed.
Yeah, I don't see that continuing.
Yeah, I think I agree. I don't see it continuing, but I think by the time you get done averaging out, because I think there's going to be less sales at the end of the year than there is at the beginning.
Yeah.
I think the average is going to still come out at 9%. Okay. It's going to be between 8 to 10. It's going to be somewhere in that window. I think it's going to be a little higher. It's going to be higher than 8. You're thinking 7 to 8. I'm thinking 8 to
7 to 8.
Yeah.
7 to 8, not 7 to 8.
I was going to say, if you're thinking 78, can I please buy whatever you're selling? Because I will take a 78% increase in whatever you have. First American explains, while house price growth is expected to moderate from the rapid pace of 2021, strong homebuyer demand against a backdrop of historical tight inventory of homes for sale will likely keep appreciation positive in the coming year. You should say coming years. Because that's really the problem.
What we're talking about. It's going to take years. Yes.
Builders were building as hard as they could last year, and they still only did 1.3 million. Mm-hmm. We can't find the part
of that was supply for materials and labor.
And that's still the problem. You can't find the materials, and you still can't get the labor. So until you can resolve those two issues, you're not going to see a supply increase.
And that's going to take time.
Yeah. And if you can't see the supply increase, you're going to be running into basically a wall of prices continuing to rise.
Yes. Although, I do believe at some point you can't keep that up because you are going to price first-time buyers out of the market.
You can price anybody out of the market. Not necessarily first-time
Well,
or
they're going to
second-time.
go first. They're going to take the hit first, obviously.
We've talked about maybe getting a new house. And my wife looked at me and goes, yeah, I think we're staying here. I think we're staying here. And I'm like, all right.
Well, but you've got a ton of equity now. You can fix it up. If you're committed to staying for the long haul, fix it up like you want it.
Good. I don't know if I want to touch that equity. I'd rather pay that out of pocket. Okay. I'd rather leave that equity right where it's at.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's kind of a spiraling thing. If you take money out of the house but reinvest it back into the house to improve the house, yes, you could get a return on that equity. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not one of the greater things that we talk about on why to take equity out. Education, starting a business, paying off high interest debt. Those three things I think are more key.
Yeah, but I would argue depending on what it is that you're doing to the house.
I agree. Yeah. I completely agree. Because if I had my way, I want to build a giant, sunroom thing off the back.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
If you're finishing a bathroom in the basement, that's obviously going to...
I want to finish my basement.
Equity.
I want to finish my basement.
Yeah. So that's gonna
Yeah.
add big equity.
Yeah. I got to get all the DJ toys out of the basement because all the extra stuff is down there.
Yeah, a lot of extra.
Oh my, cases upon lights upon everything. I need to just sell it outright. Some of it's not worth anything. Some of it's worth a little bit. I mean, I still have 2 or 3 different rigs for speakers and stuff. So, but I would really want to open it up and just kind of make like a great room downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, probably put a wet bar down there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, and then just kind of isolate off the utilities. My utilities are off in a corner,
Do you
which
have
is
a
nice.
bath down there?
I have no bathroom down there.
Do you have a rough in?
No. So we'd have to cut concrete,
Yeah.
which is fine. I mean, it's a little bit extra cost, but it can be done.
Yeah, oh, yeah, it can be done.
So
And that's the thing. It's worth it if you're staying.
So let's get, what does all this appreciation mean? All right. None of the experts project a depreciation. So what is it really going to mean to you moving forward? All right. So Freddie Mac comments, if you're thinking about waiting until next year and that maybe rates are higher, but you'll get a deal on price, well, that's risky. It may be more advantageous to purchase this year versus waiting till 2023. And that's why you see so many buyers in the market. The buyers realize prices are going up, rates are going up, they're not coming down.
Mm-hmm.
I've had people call me, well, I'm going to wait till the prices come down. Okay, keep waiting. You got at least 5 or 6 years. At least.
Yeah. And I don't think they're going to come down per se. You know, will prices rise at a more moderate pace? Absolutely.
Well, yeah, they're going to. They should be
They
going
need
to.
to.
They need to. You know, we need wage growth to catch up with these prices.
Yes.
Because that's the 3-pin stool. You know, that's the 3-legged stool.
Mm-hmm.
The price of the house, which is the least impactive on your monthly payment, the interest rate, and your wage growth. Because if your wages go up, you know, $100, that's anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 more house you could buy.
Yes.
So, I mean, the wage growth is, I think, the bigger, and the interest rate's the big thing, as we all realized. I should say, we knew, many are now realizing.
Yeah. It really affects your wallet.
It does. I mean, it really does. I try to educate, and we talk about it on the show, you're not buying a $300,000 house. You're buying a $2,000 a month payment or a $3,000 a month payment. You've got to look at it on a monthly payment in and out, you know, catalyst. And you have to take in that, okay, I'm going to be bringing in this much money. I spend this much money here. This is how much more I have for housing. Now, do you want to spend that as rent? Or do you want to spend that as investing in yourself and in your own property? One has a return, one doesn't.
Yeah, pretty straightforward.
Yep. So the nice thing is, home price appreciation is great news for the existing homeowner. All right, so there's the flip of the coin. It's not the buyers, you need to act now, but there is some good news out of it. So, Sell and Heap Executive Research and Insight and Deputy Chief Economist, that is the longest title I think we've ever had,
Yeah,
at CoreLogic, with so few homes, buyers are once again left with fierce competition that's driving the share of homes that sold over list price up to 66%. Wow, I didn't know that.
yeah, that's crazy.
All right. With the continued imbalance between supply and demand, home prices are likely to have another year of strong gains and are expected to average about 10% growth for the year. There goes your 7 to 8.
I'm gonna go out on the ledge and say,
And for all fairness, he's talking nationally.
That's true.
You're talking locally.
Correct.
So, let's just put an apple to an apple here. All right. Home prices are expectation survey forecast. What will happen with the price over the next 5 years? Okay, so who are they surveying?
I was trying to...
Home price expectation survey forecast what will happen. Prices will continue to rise through 2026. January to January price growth as forecasted in the first quarter of 2022. So this looks like they're surveying the experts, from NAR, Fannie, Freddie, stuff like that. And they averaged them out on the survey. So everybody's expecting, as we saw in the last article we talked about, 9% growth in 2022. 2023, 4.7, 2024, 3.6, 2025, 3.41, 2026, 3.57. I don't know how we're going to get down to those numbers without either curbing demand or increasing supply. So one of those two, to get down under a 5% growth rate, one of those two things are going to happen.
And maybe that's their thing, is they're projecting out in 2 years we will have a little more supply.
I don't think it's got
I don't see it coming that fast.
Demand's got a curve. So, all right, let's hit a break, and then when we get back from the break, let's talk about the buyers we have looking for property, because, again, we're sold out all of our listings. Mm-hmm. So, all right, so keep it here with Get Real with Eddie.
You made a smart move to Get Real with Eddie, helping you make your next smart move into your next home.
Welcome back to Get Real with Eddie. Hey, Nancy, if they want to reach you, what's the best number they can call you at?
You can reach me at 815-545-1162.
Awesome. And what's your website?
valleydreamhomes.com.
Excellent. All right, so let's talk about buyers. You got a buyer looking for any property right now?
I do. I have a buyer looking in actually the Romeoville area, 4-bedroom, preferably 2-bath, around 2,000 square feet, basement preferable. Newer than 2,000, so a little bit newer home.
So if somebody holds that property, give them your phone number one more time if they want to reach out and say, hey, I own that house, or I know somebody that owns that house and I'm looking to sell, or it's an agent maybe that's listening, because I know a lot of agents listening. What's the best number they can reach you at? Again,
just give me a call, 815-545-1162.
And I have still my buyer looking for a very unique property. They would prefer a basement, first floor bedroom with a master suite. They would like 2,500 square feet or more. So it could be a 2-story, but the master has to be on the first floor, unless you have an elevator in your unit. If you have an elevator, they would take the master on the second floor. So if you have a buyer or a property that you know of that's either listed, if you're a realtor that's listening, or if you have a property you want to list, give me a call, 815-823-5478.
What area are they looking for?
They are looking to be, or I was just going to get to that, actually, around in Will County is a must, but they are looking within like the Plainfield, Crest Hill, Romeoville, could go up into Bolingbrook, maybe out to Oswego, down through Shorewood. So kind of like the Joliet suburbs. Joliet could be an option. They'll go down as far as Shanahan. So it's a big, vast area, but it's a very unique property that they're looking for. Let's be honest, first floor bed masters are very hard to find. And a ranch house up to 2,500 square feet, that's very hard to find.
Oh my goodness, yes.
You can see the biggest ones I run in is like 2,000 to 2,300 square feet. And they have a very large family, so they're looking to have more square footage because they want to be able to put like folding tables out for holidays and stuff.
Sure.
So that's the true intention. So yeah, if you have that property, again, 815-823-5478. Give me a call at Baird and Warner, and we'd love to help you either way. All right. Things that could help you win a bidding war on a home. So we're going back over to the buy side. The National Association of Realtors, nationwide, homes are getting on average 4.8 offers right now. 4.8. That's about right. I'm seeing, I think our market's in that same range.
Yes, definitely.
So they got it broke
At
out.
least.
They did break it out. So average number of offers. All right, let's do 5 or more. States with 5 or more. Hawaii, Alaska, Texas, Arizona, California, Utah, Colorado, Nevada, Washington, Nebraska, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Georgia, Pennsylvania. Is that Delaware down there or New Jersey? It's New Jersey.
It's Joyzy.
New Jersey, Massachusetts, and Maine. Did I get them all?
Yeah, looks like it.
All right. 4 offers. Those that are averaging 4 offers. So that is us here in Illinois, Oregon, Minnesota, Michigan, Indiana. Minnesota had 5 or more. Florida, Arkansas, Tennessee, North Carolina, Virginia, South Carolina. I think I said Maryland. Maryland's getting 4. It was Maine getting 5. New York, Rhode Island, Connecticut. And I think that's pretty much all the 4s. All right, states that are getting 2 or 3 offers. Montana, which is just massive amount of land.
Oh, yeah.
I think the whole... let me pull it up.
It is a beautiful state, I gotta say.
It is
Rockies, and it's very pretty.
But the
very wide open.
population for the size of the state is very low.
Yes.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
It would be kind of interesting, just in a sidebar kind of thing, to see what their population, if it increased, because I know a lot of people were moving out of California and off the West Coast and everything. During COVID, I would like to see what their numbers are as far as population increase over the last couple of years.
Population of Montana
Mm-hmm.
looks to remain steady since going back to before 2012, all the way through 2020, according to Google. The blue line there's no dips. It's like a straight line all the way across.
Yeah.
And they're showing the population as of 2020, 1.062 million for Montana.
Wow. Total in Montana.
Yeah. And that's a huge state.
Yes, it is.
And but it's a very, like you've got, like you said, the Rocky Mountains, but you also got a lot of grassland and prairie land.
Oh, yeah, it's open.
Yeah.
You've got
Very
open, big
open.
sky country.
Yep.
I mean, really beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah.
Louisiana are averaging 3. Mississippi, trying to remember my states. What's next to Mississippi? That's AL. Alabama, that's right. South Carolina, Kentucky, Ohio, West Virginia, they're all averaging 3 offers. 2 offers. Missouri, Iowa, South Dakota, Kansas.
Yes. Oh, thank you.
we hit the enlarge button, so now we can actually see this. New Mexico and New Hampshire.
Yep.
Those that are averaging 1 offer, this is multiple offers, is Oklahoma. That's it. Oklahoma's getting 1. And then Idaho, North Dakota, and Wyoming, there are no multiple offers. they're not averaging a plethora. I mean, there's probably multiple offers on here and
I was
there.
going to say, are we lacking data there?
Could be
Because they
lacking
don't
data.
Really say. They're kind of grayed out, so I'm wondering if we just don't have data.
Yeah, because I can't see Vermont. I would see Vermont actually having.
Or Wyoming. I mean, really?
Well, and I heard Idaho. There's a lot of people coming out of Washington moving into Idaho.
That's what I was...
So it may be lacking data. That's a good point. We might not have the data, and that's why it's grayed out.
my
So,
guess.
what's that?
I said that would be my guess, just looking at the...
We're going to go with that theory. I like that theory. We're going to stick with that theory. So, I just... So how do you compete is the question. What are you doing that's making your clients win the offer over others?
Personally, I make sure I contact that listing agent before we write our offer, and I find out anything and everything I can about what that seller is looking for, and try to craft our offer with obviously discussing it with my buyer, but try to craft an offer that's very specifically geared towards that seller.
I think that's a great aspect. To hit, and that's a great way to do it. I think also having the seller, the lender call and check in.
Oh, well, that goes without saying.
Yeah, that kind of goes without saying. I think the lender calling to check in is a key aspect
I've
to
started
all of it.
to discuss with my buyers getting underwritten, like pre-underwritten, because that seems to help as well.
Which is different than pre-approval.
Yes.
And that's a thing going on right now. You're seeing a lot of that is let's get underwritten. And what does that mean by getting underwritten? Well, it means that you are only contingent on what's going on with the house. And that's all that matters is what's going on with the property itself. So, all right, that wraps it up from Get Real with Eddie. Don't forget, check us out online at getrealwitheddie.com any time of the day.
Thanks for listening to Get Real with Eddie. Eddie Ruettiger is a realtor at Baird & Warner in Plainfield, license number 475141896. Managing broker Steve Engel. For more information on your neighborhood, call Eddie at 815-823-5478 or visit yourdwellings.com.